welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley Estes. I blog at themountainviewcottage.net. Today I'm super excited to be taking you behind the scenes on a brand new room makeover. This is a room in my house that I have hated for all 5 years that we have lived in this house, and it is my laundry room. Now, don't get me wrong, I actually don't hate doing laundry, but doing it in this space has made me hate it for the last 5 years. This room is very small. There is a door here to enter into the laundry room, and then there is another door right here that basically like collides with this door and opening my laundry room dryer and washer. Unfortunately, those are things I can't change about this space, but the lame shelf that I had installed by the builders that was in a weird spot and didn't make it easy for me to get things, I have removed. And I have now added a whole bunch of shelves, making this room so much more functional and maximizing the small space that I did have. I truly didn't think that it was possible to turn this room into a room that I would actually love, and I do. And not only that, it has truly been quite the transformation, and it has made it so much easier for me to find what I'm looking for, to do my laundry more streamlined, and I don't actually hate it anymore. So let me show you how I took this really small laundry room and turned it into a really functioning and livable space for me and my family. I am a mother of 4 and soon to be 5, so I do a lot of time. I spend a lot of time doing laundry. So having a space that I can do it in that is functional for me and my family is huge. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll hit that subscribe button, and I will be sharing so many more farmhouse inspired DIY and tutorials with you very soon.
Let's start with the before picture. As you can see, I wasn't kidding. This room really was a hot mess. I'd like to say that it only looked like this a little bit of the time, but it looked like this 90% of the time. There's quite a few reasons why it was so hard to manage before. One of them being is the shelf was in an awkward position. It was hard for me to reach, so it just kind of became a catch-all for random things I needed to store and didn't have a better place to put them, and I didn't utilize the space well. There was no counter to protect the machine, so I tried various blankets and towels and things that just ended up looking tacky, and then there were unpractical storage solutions, so I just didn't have anything set in stone for the things that I needed to reach and access, so they just ended up getting piled all over the tops of the washer and dryer, and there's just no place for the necessities. So it always was a mess because there was just no home for the things that I needed, and so it just became a disaster zone. First, I'm going to show you the improvements that I made. I started by taking out that random shelf installed by the builder, and then I took these white MDF boards and I screwed them into the studs, and I placed them where I wanted to put my shelves. So they will kind of be the landing or resting spot for the shelves that I made. There's one right above the washer and dryer for the counter, and then there's the 2 other ones above them for the 2 shelves that will be installed in just a minute. The shelves are already complete in this shot, but I just kind of wanted to show you how I installed them. I literally just rest them on top of those MDF pieces, and they're sturdy enough to hold the weight of all the items that I eventually am going to store on top of these. Here's a close-up of the shelves I made, so if you want to create this look in your own home, you can. I used 1x4 wood planks from Home Depot. I used 5 for each shelf, so I took 4 of the pieces and cut them down to the right size, and then I laid them flat together and used that final piece to screw into the back in 3 different places so that they all stayed together in a row. I actually left a little space right here in the back so that there was a place for it to rest on the MDF on the wall without it being crooked. Once they were all put together, I stained them in a dark Minwax color, and I covered them with a clear coat, a water-based poly, so that they would be sealed and protected from the moisture in the laundry room. And I repeated that step for both of the shelves, and then I just made that larger for the countertop.
So let's start with just a quick overview of this space. On top, I have this DIY laundry room sign. I will link in the description how I make my signs. I have several tutorials on how to make your own DIY farmhouse inspired signs. It's pretty simple. And then I have these plastic white bins that hold some of the smaller items, these fabric cubes that hold some of the bigger items, and then I have these really pretty woven bins that hold other items, as well as some canisters for all of my laundry room detergents and things like that. Previously, I was just ending up stacking random things all over the washer and dryer, and it just wasn't practical, and it was also destroying the surface on top of them. And so I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be able to make it so I can make it more functional, but also protect the surfaces on top of the washer and dryer. And so this countertop allows me to do both of those things. Let's start by talking about these woven baskets. These I got, and along with all the other items, including the canisters, all came from the Container Store, so I'll have all the links for those in the description below. But I also got these cool labels to label each of the bins so that I know what everything is. Sometimes the hardest part is figuring out where you put things when you've organized, am I right? And so having clear labels makes it so much easier to remember where you've put everything. It will also help other people in your home, such as your children and your spouse, be able to help maintain the space as well, and that is key. Right here, I have all of my rags and towels in this very first bin. I don't have a place in my kitchen to store them, so this is right near my kitchen, making it easy for me to access them. And then in the middle here, I have all the dirty rags for when I'm done cleaning at the end of the night in the kitchen, or when I'm cleaning my home. Whatever it may be, I can house them there. And then when that gets full, I know it's time to do a new load, which is nice. And then lastly, over here, I have one more bin that has the dirty clothes label on it. I try not to keep any of our dirty clothes in the laundry unless I'm doing a lot of loads or something like that. They're usually contained in hampers in our bathrooms. But by having this small little basket, it does allow me a place to drop dirty clothes while I'm downstairs, which happens pretty often because let's be honest, I'm sure my kids aren't the only ones who come home and immediately strip down and take their clothes off when they get home from school or wherever they may be. So this makes it possible for me to corral those without having to run upstairs, and I can do quick little loads when this gets full. Now let's talk about these canisters. These are so cool. Let me get a little closer and show you. So this is a spray bottle from the Grove Collaborative, and I will also be sharing with you later this week a tutorial on how to make my favorite DIY stain remover. I have used this for years, and it has gotten so many terrible stains out of my children's clothing, and even mine, because I am a mess when I eat, I have to admit. So this has made it so much easier for me to keep my children's and my family's clothes clean. Next, we have these canisters for all of my laundry detergent. I prefer pods just because they don't make such a mess. I do not have water running when I'm putting my laundry detergent in my washer. It doesn't run until after I've closed and locked the door. So I found that liquid laundry detergent was making a mess of my machine, and pods kind of helped me stop the mess that was happening. They are the Clack Pantry Canisters from the Container Store, and I love them because they are airtight, so they will seal out any moisture and keep your pods nice and dry for whenever you're ready to use them. So I like to try out different fragrances and things. So this one just has a couple fragrances, and then this one in the back houses my all-time favorite scent, which is Gain. No, this is not sponsored by them. I just love the smell of the original Gain. So I have a big canister for those. And then I use a separate detergent for my whites. In this first bin here, I have all of my extra cleaning supplies. So this houses a Costco-sized bag of baking soda and some of my car cleaning supplies and just all those random other things that I need so that I can fill up my spray bottles and things like that go into this container. And then moving to the second container, I have a miscellaneous bin. This kind of houses the cords, the extra chargers, flashlights, things like that. There were just too many things to put on the label, so I have this labeled as miscellaneous, and so that can kind of change if I need it to, which is also great. Next over here we have light bulbs. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I have a ton of light bulbs in this bin. I have all of my wax melts and candles for my Scentsy, and I also actually keep my Bath & Body Works Wallflower refillables in here as well. So they're all corralled in one space, making it easy for me to find when I want to change out the scents or refill them. I also want to kind of show you how the labels work. These are from the Container Store. They are a brushed nickel, and they just clip onto the top of the bins. And so There's extra space here for the lid to close, but then I have the label at the bottom. So these aren't gonna fall out because they're clipped over the top and they're nice and sturdy and easy to clean in the laundry room, which can get kind of linty. Moving over to the very first bin, this one has all of my dryer sheets. This is located right above the dryer, making it easy for me to access those. Right next to it, I have all of my clothespins in this second bin here. And the third bin, I have all of my vacuuming accessories because my vacuum has quite a few little accessories and they end up all over my house when I'm cleaning. So now I have a place to put them when I'm done or when I need to find them, which is very helpful. Over here, I have all of our dog accessories. We have 2 little wiener dogs, and between the 2 of them, they have quite the accessories collection. So I have leashes and brushes and shampoo and whatever you want to think of for a dog. It is in this little bin so that I can access those when I'm grooming them or getting ready to walk them. And then over in this next bin, we have all of the missing socks. I wish this wasn't a necessary bucket, but alas, something about laundry means that there's going to be missing socks. So I have a place to corral them, and then every time I'm done with laundry and I come up with missing socks, I can pull down this bin and I can look through it and find some of the matches. Usually I'm able to get a couple out of the bin every time I do laundry. And then the last bin we have over here is all of my ironing supplies. So basically it just has my iron inside of it. The labels on these bins actually adhere to the bins themselves. So there is just a sticky thing that's underneath this little metal label that I pulled off and then could stick them to the fronts of these bins. And so then I've just printed out my own labels using my printer and computer, nothing fancy, and I've just slipped them inside. And that will go ahead and wrap up my entire laundry room makeover and tour. As you can see, there was nothing super fancy or crazy that I did to transform this room. I really just maximized the space that I had, which is really only just this wall above the washer and dryer. I wish there was more space in this room, but sometimes there's nothing we can do about it. So I just maximized the space I have, and I can now get to all the things that I need. I know exactly where everything goes, and it's also easy for my family to help me maintain this system as well because there's clear labels for everything. Thank you so much for watching. I can't tell you how happy it makes me to see the comments that you guys leave and share. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more farmhouse inspired DIY and tutorials.